Welcome to the TLT Movement Podcast, a podcast for tomorrow's leaders today. I am here with Nancy Randolph. You're with the Alive Museum.
Anything challenging is going to be hard. But so what? Hard could be the new fun.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Who's going to carry the boats? Endeavor to persevere.
If you want to be a good leader, you have to understand human nature.
I never look back. It distracts from the now.
This is so cool. You're here at the FPA convention, and the Live Museum is pretty much where you have period piece people standing like a statue until somebody comes up and speaks to them, and they become alive and they tell their story and tell the history. Such a cool concept. What got you into doing this?
Well, it's called the American History Alive Museum, and I'm a history teacher. I love American history, teach world history. I teach grammar, but also I'm a drama coach. I also teach drama. I haven't done it this year, but so I wanted to put the two together.
That's the perfect mix.
Yes, it is.
That's
it is
awesome.
And that students love history, and I love telling the truth. There's so much indoctrination and lies being told about history and about America. So
True.
My goal was to bring truth out, a way that people can receive it. They hear it, they're enjoying it, but they're hearing truth. And
What
the
do you
truth
mean
about
by
America.
the truth?
The truth of that America is a godly nation, and that slavery is not a white thing. It's not a race thing. Slavery's been around before America was America.
Right, absolutely.
And slavery has touched every culture, and I want the truth that there's no point in being, creating division and hate because of America's history. Because of the things that's happened. America has righted that wrong in so many ways.
Awesome. So you believe by teaching the true history, you can get people out of these thought patterns of division and of being apart.
Exactly. I always tell the students, I said, I'm 58 years old and I've never seen a slave or a slave master. Plain and simple. So why are we hating and dividing people on something that happened 200 more years ago?
Right. It's a little bit of a distraction too from the slavery that's going on right now.
Exactly.
I mean, it still
exists. Exactly.
Right.
You got it. You're on point.
Yeah.
It's been going on. It's all over the world, and it's especially in places like Africa, Asia, and the Middle East to this day.
Wow.
And it is distracting because we should be helping those people.
What a mission. That's so awesome. Well, I'd love to maybe get some people to come share their experiences with this.
Well, let's start with Joshua. He's Clarence Thomas today.
All right, Clarence Thomas. Joshua, I'm told that you've been involved in this for a number of years.
Yes, I have. I have been involved since about like 7th grade. Before then, not necessarily the acting part, but having like a board or whatsoever, and letting people know what this person did in history.
Awesome. And today you're playing?
I'm playing Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Thomas. Who is he?
He's a Supreme Court Justice. He replaced Thurgood Marshall, the first African-American Supreme Court Justice.
Well, that's so cool. Why are you passionate about sharing his history?
I'm passionate about sharing his history because looking back at his story, he grew up, with a single mom. His father left him after about 2 years, left the family about 2 years after he was born. And so they went on to live with their grandfather, and their grandfather, had very, conservative values at the time. And then he, during 1968, during that time, Martin Luther King got assassinated.
Oh, yeah.
He began to, look into political, racial politics or whatsoever, and, that could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on the person. But
sure,
for him, it was, very, very bad for him. And so from there, I like his story. Mainly because he was able to, basically change his heart from, having all this anger, instead of being angry at people or whatsoever, and, just help people in general and through law.
Oh, that's so cool. And now you're helping people by sharing his story. What's been, do you have somebody that you've done this, a live museum, somebody that's come through and been very impacted? Do you have a story of somebody that's come through and learned something that like radically changed the way that they think?
I seen some facial expressions, nothing too crazy or anything like that. But you could tell they didn't know his story. When I explained it,
Sure.
As I was acting as him or whatsoever. But nothing too crazy.
Well, that's super cool, man. I had no idea that he was even a guy, so now I know. That's super cool.
It turns out he wanted to be a priest.
A
At
priest?
first. Yeah, he wanted to be a priest at first, but
And now he was a Supreme
now
Justice.
he's a Supreme Court justice. Yeah.
Wow, that's so awesome. Well, that's great. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi. What's her name?
Her name is Sojourner Truth.
What's your name?
Kayla.
Kayla? Sojourner Truth. Who is she?
So she was a woman who grew up in slavery and she ran away. That's how she got her freedom. And she went around the nation speaking out against slavery and also for women's rights. So she worked with President Grant and President Lincoln for the Union Army, and then President Grant with his campaign.
That's very interesting. I was under the impression that President Grant was a racist.
No, he wasn't. He was a good man.
Really? All right. That's so cool. Have you, through this experience of being a part of this, how much more history have you learned, the true history?
Honestly, it's been a great experience. Like, just when I was invited to be a part of it, Miss Nancy gave me some resources on, like, who Miss Truth was, and then I looked up some different things about her, and it's really neat because I'm playing Miss Truth and I'm learning the truth as I'm doing
I
it.
love that.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
It was just cool learning new things and learning more about people in history who we don't know much about. Like, they're not popular, so it was cool learning about the people who were like unsung heroes.
Wow, yeah, that is really cool. And I love history so much, especially American history, because when you know your history, you know where you come from, and so you can get a better idea of where you're going. I love the mission that you guys are spreading as far as sharing the true history so that we can unite as one and not be
Divided,
divided. Yes, that's so awesome.
Definitely.
What is your name?
Well, my person name is Elizabeth Key, and my name is Shania. So
Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you too.
Who was Elizabeth Key?
Now, I really like her. She was a woman from West Virginia, and she was actually the first Negro woman to actually sue and successfully win her freedom for her, not just for her, but also her child.
Wow.
And she represents like a stand. She's basically a rebuttal or something that could prove where people say, oh yeah, black people were always held back, it's never possible. In reality, that wasn't true. And she was a great example. And many people may not hear her story because this is my first time really ever finding out about her. And the fact that she didn't let what the law of Virginia or even the trouble she has gone through with her father and her new owner, she didn't let that stop her from knowing what God really had for her. And that was the true freedom. So,
Wow, that's awesome. Does faith play a big role in the history of America?
and most definitely, especially with her. The fact that she had faith, that she knew that her father was a white Englishman and that she was a baptized Christian woman. Thankfully, from the works of her father, that already shows you how faith can be passed down when you have the right education and that you always imply God into your education. Because of his decision, it made a pathway even for her to get through her troubles, through the enemy's plans, and she was able to still cross over with faith that, yes, I am a baptized woman. Yes,
Wow.
God has me.
Wow, that is so incredible. You know, just that story sent goosebumps down my spine. I mean, that is, I believe, the way that we can really heal this country is by going back to our roots, knowing that this country was founded in faith through the Christian God. I think that's so awesome. Thank you guys so much,
Thank you so much.
for doing this podcast and sharing your stories. I think it's so cool. Where can somebody, if they're not at FPA, where can they come experience something like this?
Well, I teach at Victory Christian Academy on Ivy Lane. We normally do it annually. This is the first year we weren't able to do that at the school, but I did want to take it out of the school and also invite other students that was not a part of Victory Christian Academy to be part of it. But people can reach me. My phone number is 407-591-2754. That's 407-591-2754. We're willing to come out and put it on. It's awesome. And we also like to, I love training and getting other people a part of it as well.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having us. God bless.
God bless you.